Good morning. So last class I have covered what are the construction project management thing and how planning, scheduling and controlling with the effect of the management practices and how to finish the construction process in an effective way with the time constraint and also cost constraint based on this scheduling techniques. And also I have covered the work breakdown structure. So in this video, I am going to teach about what are the project management tools. So there are five project management tools. Usually we are following. The one is bar chart, Gantt charts, and second one is critical path. Third one is program evaluation and review techniques, that is PERT, and Monte Carlo simulation and dependency structure matrix. So in this thing, we are going to see first, we are going to see the Gantt chart. So bar chart and Gantt chart. The difference is, so both are represented by the scheduling or any process with different categories. So bar chart, which is an ancient day, the people are used in bar chart. So to compare the different items involved in that. So it is a vertical bar connected with the x-axis and y-axis by categories with different categories. So for that, this data displayed against the frequency of the example chart, bar chart shown in this slide is the frequency of the visit happened for the quality control process. For example, the visit is daily visit is some visits. So 21 percentage. So next, in terms of percentage, the frequency, which means that the percentage of visit they mentioned, then 71 percentage, then 97 percentage. So like that, the percentage variation will be mentioned here. So this will be drawn for all construction resources. For example, that activity 100 cubic meter of the plastering work or concreting work need to be done. How many resources are required, how many cement, sand, aggregates, etc. and number of labors. So these times we have made as a bar chart with reference to our construction area. So coming to the Gantt chart, this project relation between the task and time associated with that, usually a horizontal bar is used. So this chart is invented by the Henry Gantt in the year 1910. So, but his name itself, the chart will be considered. So, it is one of the important project management tool. So, now also for different work breakdown structure, so it will, the key activities are given in the task bar with respect to the time duration. This is a mainly used for the scheduling. So, bar chart and Gantt chart are the ancient day. Nowadays also Gantt chart somewhere it is used. But this is not applicable for the larger project. For small project, it is applicable. So nowadays, we are going to see the next advanced thing, that is critical path method and program evaluation review technique, the advancement of that charts. So one is critical path method. So EI due point D and numerous and co 1957 for the construction of new chemical plant, they invented this type of technique. So CPM is a deterministic task type, which means that, for example, A is an activity which considered as an earthwork excavation. Based on the calculation, I have defined that the A consumes 5 weeks or 4 weeks. So the time will be definite in this CPM method. So in this method, the activities are mentioned in the arrow mark. So arrow mark in the network construction. So for example, so so the A is an activity which is represented between the two nodes and it is represent like this. So, for example, A is an activity. So it is represented with 1 and 2 nodes. So I have mentioned A here. So like this, it's one node only. So it is mentioned like this. So next is the program evaluation and review technique. So it is developed by US Navy in the year 1958 for the Polaris mission program. For that, it is a multi-task time estimate, not a single time estimate. So it is a multi-task time estimate that is mentioned as a probabilistic in nature. So there are three type of estimates they mentioned. So one is the optimistic time, next one is the pessimistic time, and also next one is the most expected time. So like that, it is mentioned as a three time activity. Similar way, so this will be represented by the, the node by means of the activities are mentioned in the node, not in the arrow mark. So this activity is mentioned in the form of the node, not in the activities. So like that, we can mention like A, and also B is then another activity. So this is the difference between the critical path method and program evaluation and review technique, PERT method. So CPM will be consider activities on arrow, time is deterministic, and the repetitive nature of jobs we can use for that. But PERT method, there are three time estimate, activities are mentioned on the node, and R&D work we can use for this. So next we can go for the network analysis. So as I mentioned, the activities as a represent in the same action, which is time consuming part. So activity will be marked in an arrow. So activity A and also activity B. So these activities are mentioned in the arrows, and it will be the requires, it consumes time and resources. And an activity represented by that arrow, which is A and B marked as a net. So these activities, time and resources are considered. So next is the event represent the starting and the ending of the activity. For example, this is the activity A, this is the activity B, means the node will be, event will be 1, 2, 3. So this event may also represent by these events are represented by the circle. In some places or some thing, it is called as node. So we can tell it is a node also. We can mark it is a, we can explain in the some books and the representatives or node also. So this node does not consume, it consumes no time and resources. So this is the event. Coming to the network diagram, a pictorial representation of this activities and node will be shown in a pictorial representation, is known as the network diagram. So different n number of activities with nodes represent in a diagrammatic way, which is known as a network diagram. A network diagram, each arrow represents an activity and each circle is represent an event. So this is activity, this is event. So event and also activity. So this event, which is ending point of the two or more activities, is called a node. So this entire thing is represented by the network diagram. So type of network diagram, as I pointed out, one is activity on arrow network diagram. Another one is activity on node type of diagram. AOA network and AON network. So this is the example for the AOA network. So there are different activities, A, B, C, D, E. So A, which represent earthwork excavation. B will be represent the reinforcement detailing, because once A and B are done simultaneously, so both will complete and another activities will be starting. So like that, each activity. So here the remove or existing machine and the delivery of lathe, install of power supply, both are the simultaneous activities. Here, power supply installation and install lathe, once these two completed only, the connecting to power is possible. So these are simultaneous activity. Both will complete only another activity will come. So disposal of existing machine and testing of this lathe will be your last activity. So like this, we can make the n number of activities together by a AON network. Similar way, I will give example for the AON network. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the nodes. So this is node. So activities are mentioned in the node. So you can see here existing the machine removal, power installed, same activities. But here we can express in a different way. So dot line will be to connect these two nodes, two activities together. So I am using both. This is undergoing parallel activity. Once both will complete only, next activity will come. So this is in activity on arrow, it is called as dummy activity. Here for node, this node and this node will be completed only, this will come. So to connection, we are using this dotted line. So we are seeing the examples for AON network and the AON network. So next we want to draw the network. So for that, there is a different rules to construct the network. So I will explain that rules. The first rule will be no single activity can represent. So in that, no single activity can represent more than once in a week. So that is once in a network. No single activity can represent more than once in a network. For example, so A is an activity. So that will be only should comes in once in a network. We cannot add more activities in a several times. So one single activity can represent can be represented more than once in a, no single activity can represent more than once in a network. Next is a network should have only one start event and one end event. They are obviously, so there is no simultaneous. This I will give example in the next slide. The event number will be start with 1 and it is having a highest number will be in the ending event. So before the activity is undertaken. For this, for example, the third point, I will tell you. The third point is, for example, this is an activity. In that one is the activity. The next will be starting with the 2 only because highest value only. So this will be considered as another one. So for that, the third point is here. So network will be one starting and one event is here. There should be one starting and one ending. For example, there is a network like this. So one starting and also it should be coming one ending event. So similarly, it should not be more than one start and also one ending. So for example, this is wrong. So this network is wrong. This network will be right. So the network consists of different activities, one start and one end. It should be considered as an arrow. So this is one. We want to highest number should be there 2, 3 and 4. So this will be correct. One start, one end. So if other than that, if it will be, it should not be, I am telling the wrong one. So here I will explain the wrong one. This is one node. So it should not be two ends. So always it should be connected with the one value. So if we mention like this, which means that, so this is correct. One starting and one ending event. So this more than one start is wrong. So the second diagram will be not correct. This is wrong. So coming to this, no single activity. So here, if I mention, as I pointed out, if the node number will be, it is more than highest number of starting node. For example, for an activity, 2 is a starting node and 3 is the ending node. So it should be more than, for example, B activity. So this is the correct. So no single activity should not comes more than once in a network. And it should be only one start event and one end event. The next slide I have explained. Third point is even number will be starting number will be more than the highest number of the ending event. So end event number will be highest number compared with the start event. So assigning two events should not be duplicate also. Dummy activities I will explain here. So for example, next slide I will explain. Here the dummy activity. It is an imaginary activity which does not consume any resources, which is known as dummy activity. Then why this dummy activity we want to include? Because the two simultaneous activities are working to interconnect to both activities completed on time, then only the another activity will start, means we are using dummy activity. For example, A is an activity, starting activity, which consider as a 1 and 2 node. B and C are the parallel activity after completion of A, which is equal to 3 and 4. So both B and C completed only, the another activity D will start. So this will be B activity. So I want to use this will be the A, B, C, and this will be the starting of the D activity. So and then 3, 4, and this will be 5. So once both activity completed, so I want to mention the arrow mark. Okay, so both A, B and C completed, the D activity will start. So which make the network in a logical way, and this will be necessary to reduce the complexity of the network. Then other points are the direction of arrow mark should be always left to right, and the arrow mark will be straight, not in a curved form like this. So the direction, this will be wrong. So this is also wrong and this also wrong. So incorrect. This is also wrong. It will form a loop. So looping error should not be formed if the activity will be starting from right to left. So always this will be in the activities are left to right only. Then looping error should not be formed in a network as it represents performance activities repeatedly in the cyclic manner. So that's all about the rules of the constructing network. So a network contains starting and end event, and it should be event will be numbered properly, and that avoids the direction of arrow marks will be left to right, and it should be one start event and one end event. Two activities starting from same tail event is not correct, and if it is possible we can go for the dummy activity. I have explained why dummy activity is required. So that's all about the network rules. Now we are going to, this is some representation, how this network will be represented. For example, A is an activity, B is an activity, C is an activity. B can be performed only after completion of the activity A. So we can represent like this. So A, B, C is a continuous activity. Activity B can be performed only after completing activity A. The activity C can be performed only after completion of activity B. Similarly, here how this activity will be represented means activity B and C start simultaneously after completion of A. For example, the three images, it won't come like this because it contains one starting event only. But here we can tell after completion of A and B, C activity will start. Like that we can tell. Then here activity C start only after completion of A. Activity D start only after completion of B. And activity C will start after completion of activity A and B. So which means that there is a dummy activity we can use. So this dot line will shows the dummy activity. So this we can mention like this. So these are the activity, how we can writing this activities. So here the example, how the questions will be coming. So they mentioned a name of the activity, A activity. The starting and finishing event is 1 and 2. The description of activity, preparing of the house plan. The A is the starting activity, so no predecessor. Duration is 4 days is required. So, a similar way for all the A to F activities. So, if to make a network diagram, prepare a house plan is an A activity which requires 4 days. So, always the activity consider the resources. Here, the time resources is mentioned. Construction of house, 58 days. Then next is the another C activity, fixing the door, 2 days. Writing, wiring the house, it is 2 days. Then painting the house, 1 day. Polishing of the doors and others, 1 day. So these can be possible for this sequences. So now we are going to draw the network. Here both predecessor and successor is given. So for these activities, we will draw one by one. So for example, for this, for activity A and B, there is no predecessor. So which means that both are the starting activity. So A and B. So A is an activity. Node number we will give later. So it should be represented by arrow mark. So A and B, no predecessor. So and C and D, both will have a predecessor of A. So C, you have make the C activity and D activity like this. So we can make a trials also. So C activity and D activity like this. So like this, then we will want to connect it. E activity will start after completion of the B activity. So like this. Okay. So now you can see. So A and B are the starting activity. Then C and D will start simultaneously after completion of A. E will start after completion of B, and also next is the only predecessor I am telling, then we will check it. F will start only after completion of C. C and E. So I will start directly to this because this one is the last activity. So F will be the completion of C and E. So after C and E, the F will come, and D and F completed, there is an activity of G. Okay, so now we want to write the node number 1, 2, 3, because highest number. So 4, 5, 6. So highest number. So if we check successor also, D and C is a successor for D and C, successor for activity A. Similarly, E is the successor for activity B. So both will be valid. So with this, I will complete this class. So next class, we will draw more network, and also we will find the calculation of the duration. Thank you.